Yo, what is going on, and welcome to another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life, part of the Believe Network. I'm Ramsey Abushala, editor of UrbanPitch.com. Julio Matarosa and Bridget Flores making a return. It's so nice to see you, Bridget. What's going on? What's going on, Bridget?
They said they were giving us jerseys. She's like, "Oh, I'm back. I'm there."
Yeah, they heard.
Urban Pitch gave me a month vacation. I had a little sabbatical.
Okay.
We'll call it that.
Yeah. Well, the last time she was here, we got jerseys, and then this time she's here, we got new jerseys too. Rocking the Icarus Cup, third edition of the Urban Pitch Icarus Cup jerseys. They always keep us looking fresh. Shouts to our guys at Icarus. Peep the Icarus Cup this weekend. But yeah, I mean, we're looking good because we had to look good because we got a special guest in the building.
That's
special guest, our guy Leo Hernandez, aka El Soccer Guy. Leo, what's going on, man?
Thank you. I didn't know it was a special guest, but that's good to know.
Oh, very special. Why do you think Bridget is here?
Yeah, Bridget will come for any guest.
They were like, oh, he's gonna wear an America jersey. I was like, all right, I bet I'm there, 100%.
Yeah, this is the brand new one, straight from Adidas.
Adidas, what's up?
The new branding of Adidas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
25 years, bro. 25 years. I've been waiting for this.
Yeah. Because I mean, last week or 2 weeks ago we had Daniel Shallowy and MLS player. Bridget was like, I'm cool on that. I got stuff to do. And we said,
been there,
we got Leo. We got Leo coming on and
Sunday League player MVP.
Yeah.
And soccer guy. I was like, what?
Yeah. I'm co-ed soccer player MVP.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
We.
Bridget was there. I was. My stats were. We played 10 games. 10 games hungover. 20
10
goals.
out of 10
20
hungover.
goals. 20 goals.
That's like 30 goals because you're hungover, right?
Yeah.
It's like 1.5
in the
goals.
final, I had a banger.
Sure
Come on
did.
now.
Sure
I'm
did.
telling you, man.
Yeah.
Sure did.
If they lucky, I don't take soccer serious.
Right. No, but Leo, thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
Before we get into, because we're going to talk about a lot of soccer stuff, but just to give people a better idea of who you are and your soccer background. I know you're from the Southern California area.
Santa Ana.
Okay, shouts to Santa Ana, shouts to Orange County. So talk about your soccer background, how you got into the game, and then just kind of where that's led you to where you're at today.
Okay, cool. Well, I started playing soccer around middle school. Worked my way to high school. Was trying to play for college, and career ended with a torn ACL. Sad.
Okay.
Me chingué la rodilla, but it happened. Studied marketing, went to Cal State Fullerton. Then from there, corporate jobs. And then when COVID happened, obviously all of us were bored. Went on TikTok, did a viral video, got 1 million views in like 24 hours. So I was like,
you dancing?
know what? No, I was not dancing. No. It's funny because
you gotta specify.
What is American jersey? And is it American jersey?
No dances were involved. This video was. It's funny because most of my videos are always. I don't want to say I bash on the Mexican team, but when they were doing bad, I was making fun of them. Me like putting on the uniform, like, oh, you know what? I'm tired of losing. I'll do it.
Yeah.
And now when I remember I posted it, went to sleep, woke up, it was like 1 million views, and I was like, oh wow. So that was first. My username was like Leo, my name. And as a marketing guy, I was like, I need to start doing my own branding, my own name. It was gonna be a football guy, but then we're in the U.S., so I was like soccer guy sounds better. And since then, I've been traveling from city to city, state to state, country to country. I already went to Europe, London, Amsterdam. I saw Barcelona in the Champions League. Just letting you guys know, the Champions League anthem hits different when you're
in person.
You're in person.
You saw the Inter Milan game, or what game did you?
It was Barcelona versus Shakhtar.
Okay.
And, not in Camp Nou, but in the current stadium there.
Right. Yeah.
But and since then, I've been doing it for like the last 3-4 years, and I'm finally booming.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like you have to kind of take it back a little bit because you woke up to 1 million views.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, I didn't know it was possible.
Yeah.
I was just doing it for fun.
What was that feeling like, and how did you like in that moment feel, and also just understand like this is an opportunity to like take it?
Well, for sure I was not going to do any dancing. I like to make people laugh. So I was thinking of just different ideas, like how to make people laugh, do like little skits. And I have a strong passion for soccer. Like it's my thing. And when that video hit, I was like, maybe I should do more soccer. So little by little, I was like trying to figure out what is it that I'm going to do exactly that relates to soccer. Like skits, go to a game, do some voiceovers. And it's been a mix of everything. I started with just doing like small skits, like maybe 10-second videos. Now I'm just doing voiceovers, going to different cities and be like, I spent this much at an Orange County soccer game. I bought this drink. I spent a total of $50, blah, blah, blah. But the goal basically is to attend the World Cup and show people my experiences.
Yeah. And I mean, in 2026, like that's been kind of like the whatever, like turning point, or it's been circled on everybody's calendars. You see, it's been a super busy summer with the Club World Cup, Gold Cup, all this stuff going on. What are the biggest things that you've seen? Because you said you've been a soccer fan, since a kid. You were playing in middle school. So from then, whatever, 10, 15, I don't want to date you, 5, I don't know, years ago versus now. What are some of the biggest things that you've seen change, and like what do you hope to see, in the year leading up to the World Cup?
First of all, I consider myself a content creator. I hate the word influencer because I've worked with influencers. I don't want to say some. I've heard stories of influencers that are not, the best.
Sure.
I've seen, from my point of view, is the influencers obviously use soccer for what's happening, but I'm a content creator and I'm specifically for soccer. So I've seen people, use soccer, which it makes sense to, boost their views. And I understand, but for me, I'm doing it for the love and for the passion. Obviously, everybody wants to get paid, but I want to get paid, but also enjoy the game. I love it. And something that's changed is it's more of marketing when it comes to soccer. I feel like, with Club World Cup, there's more games added to the players, so that kind of hurts them. And I think it's mostly more money than passion. And that kind of hurts me because, I love the game. And I think if I was a player playing 100 plus games, I'm pretty sure going to tear my next ACL too.
I think, so I was a little bit cautious about the Club World Cup when it was announced because of that. And, some of the players were talking about, potentially going on strike. And, a lot of the teams that have, like your Manchester Cities or, Barcelona's, or the teams that are going deep into tournaments and are playing in multiple different tournaments and have players that are on national teams and they're going to, like even going back to last summer with the Euros and Copa America and all these, tournaments. You have Nations League. So the top players are obviously playing, 80, 90, even up to 100 games. And so I was a little bit wary about that. But then, the Club World Cup came and there was a lot of intensity, like especially from a team like PSG who had every right to kind of take it easy and maybe let their foot off the throttle a little bit, coming off of a Champions League win. They won a treble. They're playing deep tournaments like every single time, and now they're going to a final
for their 7th cup in 1 year.
Yeah, which would be crazy. 7 or 6?
7.
7.
So they're going to beat the Barcelona record for goal. 6. So now that Real Madrid lost, I hope they win.
Yeah, but like the passion and like the intensity, I think was nice to see. The players still kind of having the integrity to play, whether it's for money or for the love of the game. So I think overall, yes, there needs to maybe be some kind of like balancing on the schedule. But
I think it's also the mentality when it comes to the players, because I think PSG is the one team that's tried actually taking this tournament seriously. I feel like with Dembele, I was kind of, as a Barca fan, I was like, we need to let Dembele go. And now I was like, damn, I wish I had him. I wish I had that same intensity when he was in Barca. So I think it really depends on the team, the coach, the whole staff. But PSG, just that the Real Madrid game, I was not expecting that. I was expecting like a final,
Right,
this was like a Sunday League game.
It was kind of the same as the Champions League final too, where like all of a sudden it's 3-0 in like 40 minutes, and you're like, what's going on here? Like this was supposed to be a close game, and Inter Milan was a very strong team, especially defensively, and this, their attacking front, like not enough can be said. A lot has been said already about the guys that they have, like the embarrassment of riches they have. Kvaratskhelia, Doué, and Barcola coming off the bench. Like it's crazy, like what they have. And I feel like their coach is just got him at the right time, and everything's kind of gelling. And the way they've been playing has been like.
But it's not even PSG. Like even the storylines that came in from the Brazilian teams, just doing so well. The South American teams beating some of the European teams. So bringing back that barbershop talk, like. What is the best league? There has been a lot of debate about the Mexican League and the MLS League, and the Mexican League showed out. That first game when Ramos scored the tying goal against Inter. So like it shows like how good the Mexican League is as well. Probably not the 2 top teams right now in the Mexican League, but they did a hell of a job. So
same with Al Hilal,
yeah,
the Saudi league.
Exactly. Another. Everybody bashed Cristiano Ronaldo talking about, hey, like that league is not that good, and it showed like. No, these European rejects can still play. Like they're not European rejects,
they're not even
no, they're not European rejects, but like they left for the check. They left for the check.
The bag.
Yeah, the bag. So like
a lot of those are just like the underdogs coming into the Club World Cup, and they came in and showed out.
Yeah, so it showed like it got this conversation going. Like, what's the best league? Like, is Brazil top 3 league now? Because like their teams are doing their teams that did amazing.
Right. It's hard to say now because everyone talked about the French league, the Farmers League.
Yeah. Right.
But now PSG is destroying everybody, even the whole Premier League team, like the top 6 at least minimum. So they're gonna play against Chelsea now. So I feel like I think PSG is gonna win unless Chelsea does a miracle. I don't know.
Chelsea doesn't know how to win cups.
You're right on that.
Yeah, I mean they. I was gonna say, Conference League, like, they had some silverware.
They won something.
They won a Champions League a couple years
Cup.
ago. Like, I feel like that is not the team. There's a lot of teams where, I mean, I'm an Arsenal fan, so I know this all too well.
That's horrible.
But there are teams that like have trouble winning cups, and you saw Tottenham win.
Even worse.
They finally got over the hump. So,
no, even Enzo played amazing.
Yeah,
this whole Club World Cup, and like. From the trash talking that the Chelsea fans said about Enzo, like, why did we pay so much? Like, he was hurt last year, but he's been balling out all World Cup tournaments. So I'm happy to see Enzo like ball out and show them like why they paid so much money for him.
Yeah. I think overall it's been a pretty solid tournament. There haven't been we didn't see any like kind of some of the mishaps that were at the Copa America last year. So I think from a hosting standpoint, the U.S. seemed to be a little bit more on top of things. They're a little bit more prepared, it seems. Still have one more game to go.
I don't know. The semifinal, there was a lot of fans complaining about like they had to make a 2-hour. They had to. The doors opened an hour before, but they had to wait a 2-hour wait to even get in.
Yeah.
And things need to be worked out.
Things right, but I think for the most part it was an improvement. That's it's never gonna go.
It wasn't
perfect.
chaotic
there weren't people crawling the attics.
I think it's a good test run for them to do that. I just feel like hopefully there's no issues for the World Cup next year because that's where the finals going to take place.
But
I mean, regardless, there's still gonna be. It's the first time we have this in a while, so
there's gonna be a mishap. There's gonna be something.
If it's not like the entrance to the stadium, it's gonna be transportation to the stadium. It's gonna be something. I think.
And every World Cup has these kind of like mishaps and you just want to kind of minimize those. And I think that we don't want to see people getting trampled over. We don't want to see that was on one end of the spectrum. And I think this execution-wise, we saw a little bit of a step up. So I was happy to see that. I was happy to see the teams actually look like they're carrying and for pretty decent product on the field. People were making talks about empty stadiums, but that's all gone to put to bed. That whole narrative I think was kind of silly, but
I guess it's just the issues of having a game on a Wednesday around noon because people got to work. But for me, the U.S. still isn't really a soccer country.
Okay.
I think it's growing little by little. I don't know. I want to ask you guys, what did you guys think about the Club World Cup from the beginning? Were you guys excited? Did you guys want to see it? Did you guys even watch any games? Because I pretty much watched at least more than half of the games just because I had so much time.
Yeah. I think we were all a little bit we were. I don't want to speak for Bridget and Julio, but we had talks about in previous episodes where we were is this really gonna make waves? Is this really gonna be a big deal? I was cautiously optimistic for it. I thought it was cool that we were getting a tournament like this here. Watching the games though was a little bit tough just during the day. When the World Cup hits and you had a game at 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 12 a.m. or 12 noon. You have those on in the background. This one, I didn't have that need to be oh, you know what, Fluminense is playing. I gotta watch them play, or So I was able to watch some of the games, not as many as I would have liked, just because the timing was kind of weird. All the knockout games, when they were on, I would have them on in the background, but it didn't have that World Cup. I need to be watching this, and it's on all day. You can just throw it on in the background. So. And I mean, I think DAZN having it free was a cool option, and I don't know, it was just kind of so for me in terms of, oh, you know what, that even like I forgot, I was like, oh shoot, that game is on today, you know. So it wasn't the must-watch like feel to it that the World Cup has, but I think, I mean, you know, and when I was watching the games, like it was entertaining. So from that, at least for my part, like I was pretty overall like satisfied with the product.
I was couldn't wait just because I was reading, because I'm a Boca fan. So just reading the job board, the posting saying like how many fans were coming in. They sold out mostly every stadium, and most of them traveled from Argentina themselves. So I was planning to go to Miami to go see the game. It didn't work out, but I was able to come see America Pachuca. Monterrey versus River Plate here, and just seeing the passion of Argentinian fans, like the way they bring it, and how they love their team, like crazy. Like some guy was like, I came here just for these 3 games, but if it qualify, I'm probably not gonna have a job next week because I'm staying. Like I'm gonna ride this bus until the wheels fall off. So just seeing that, seeing random Boca Inter fans at the Beverly Center, just shopping around, just people just rocking with their jerseys. How many people were just rocking their jerseys? It gave a good little preview of what's coming. Probably was like 20% what a World Cup is going to be, but it gave you that feeling like, oh, this might get good next year.
Yeah, I agree. I think it gave us like a sneak peek of what's to come with the World Cup. I was excited in the sense of like just the idea of just multiple clubs from different spaces coming together and having that exposure. I think it'll be interesting to see what kind of exposure comes for a lot of individual players with this like experience. And like, I don't know, there's just it was an opportunity for people to see other teams and other leagues play against other levels, and for some of them it's like an opportunity to grow and to realize like this is what's out there and that's the level I gotta like live up to. Or it's also like these are the type of players we want, we're gonna bring them over and like have them, we want them on our team. But then it got a little difficult once the Gold Cup started too, because it was at the same time. So it was just like there was just a lot of soccer, which I love, but it was also like, where do I go? What do I watch? What do I make time for? Then again, that's another sneak peek to World Cup, because there's going to be a multitude of games happening.
Yeah, and the fan atmosphere I thought was really cool to see, like the chants going on from even here we had the Urawa Red Diamonds, the Japanese team, and like the fans were going crazy the entire game. Like I was talking to somebody yesterday about they were at the game at the Rose Bowl, and you know they were getting I think it was like 4-0. It was not a close game, but the fans were still there. They were still cheering for 90 minutes, and that's something that I think you see in pockets here. Like you see like certain fan bases have that, you know, passion, and they're cheering for all 90 minutes. They're there, rain or shine, you know, win or loss, like that intensity is there. You don't see it across the board like you do in some of the other countries. And so, like you mentioned earlier, like the U.S. is not a soccer country yet, and it's growing, but I would love to see the fan atmosphere consistently be like what we've seen in some of these Club World Cup games, because that'll be, I mean, that's like 60% of like the experience of going to a stadium is like just seeing the fans and feeling the energy. It's infectious. Like when you hear like the crowd roar and chant, like that makes you just like want to be there even more and be involved and watch either on TV or in person. So I think that's a huge part of what made the tournament successful, was that the fans showed out and you know, just displayed their passion.
That River Monterrey game was not fully packed, but it was about, I would say, probably like 90% full, that Rose Bowl. And out of those 90, probably 70% were River fans, and the rest were like Monterrey fans. Monterrey still had a good crowd. They were loud, but just hearing like the River fans singing, like the fan base started singing this one of the chants, and like hearing like almost like 60,000 people singing on top of their lungs, jumping like for all game, like that's insane. Like all right, we go to the LAFC game, you see the 32v2, they jump around all game, but the rest of the stadium is just it's LA fans, like they're chilling on their phones, talking, taking pictures. But no, just seeing everybody's phones was down, just everybody was looking at the game, cheering for every play, anything that happened. Like, I'm like, damn, relax, it's not that serious, guys. It was just a pass. So it's crazy. I just can't wait to see like that for the fans that come from different parts of the world and are that passionate about soccer.
Yeah. But so how can we get to a point of like passion? Because it's different in the U.S. where even like at NFL games or NBA games where like these are like major sports. I feel like it's a different fan culture because you see like basketball games in like the Czech Republic. Have you seen those like videos? Yeah, or like in Turkey, like the Turkish league, like of the fan like culture that in Europe is, or even in South America. Well, it originated from South America and then people brought it to Europe from there. But like that, it's just a completely different atmosphere from whether it's soccer, basketball, track and field, or whatever, compared to the U.S. games where it's like, you know, they're doing the wave or they're chanting defense for, 15 seconds straight and that's it. Like
I want to see flares at a Laker game.
That would be nice. I think it just also depends on the rules on stadiums because I remember I was there at the LAFC game where they pulled out flares and they got fined, which was like, from what I remember, the groups didn't care. Like, oh, we'll take the fine. It's not a big deal. But then obviously the fine plus like suspensions and like we can't take drums or whatever, so it kind of limits the groups and that atmosphere to have. So I mean, I haven't been to a Laker game in a long time, but I would like to see flares. I think it'd be a whole new different experience that would bring more people to go. Like, I want to experience that,
Yeah, and like the Clippers, they built that that wall to kind of mimic the soccer atmosphere.
I've never been there. I don't know what.
I haven't been there, but one thing that I've noticed is that there's so many distractions from what's going on the court. It's like they want you like every time. Well, another thing is soccer, like the action's nonstop for 90 minutes. There's no timeouts. There's no, breaks. And I mean, they'll do like a hydration break every once in a while. But like for the most part, 45 minutes straight, halftime, 45 minutes straight. Basketball, football, there's so much stoppage. And then like I went to a Rams game at the SoFi and like it was so hard to focus on what was going on in the field because they had like stuff going on on the video boards. Like they had the sideline reporters doing stuff. They're doing like races around this. Like it's so hard to like stay focused. Yeah. And it seems like they're doing everything they can to like get your attention from off the field. And I think that plays a huge part in the overall stadium atmosphere too, because it's like so hard to lock in and be like, okay, like this is what's going on in the field when you have like a million different lights and all this stuff going on. So I don't know, like it's I feel like it's an American thing for sure.
Yeah, because I don't want to say SoFi is my least favorite stadium. My favorite stadium is actually Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta. It's the most beautiful stadium I've ever been to. But so far, the one thing I don't want to say I hate, but I dislike is that thing that's around. Yeah. Because it shows you distract. You watch the game, but then obviously.
But it's like right there.
Yeah, but then you have to watch. You might as well just stay at home if you're gonna watch it from there. And
they put it right at eye level too, so you don't even have to like crane your neck. Like
I just went to Atlanta too, and they're because they have a wraparound video board too, but it's like it's far away from your eyesight to where it's like you see it, but it's not all the way in your face. Whereas at Intuit Dome, it's just like right there. Like there's nothing else like. It just catches your attention way too much that it kind of definitely does distract you from the game. It's weird.
And I think, obviously the sponsors and, it's a money thing. Like, they
marketing,
they need eyeballs.
The graphics.
And even like the Intuit Dome, like you don't even have to pay for anything. Like it's just like your face and like all that stuff is just kind of weird to me. But it's I don't know. Like I don't know how to change that.
It's funny you bring that up because when I went to Europe, now that I think about it, my first Premier League was Crystal Palace versus Tottenham. Okay. And I don't remember seeing any marketing or graphics during the game. And I felt really uncomfortable because a lot of people were looking at me when I was recording because I got to do content.
Sure.
I was the only one recording out of everybody in my section because everybody's watching the game. Yeah. They're so into it. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe it's that because we're so focused on the business aspect that we don't know how to focus on the sports aspect. Yeah. Right. Over there, like I remember everyone, I want to say they were all season ticket holders because I think I was the youngest guy there. Everybody was just older than me. And they were just, cheering, yelling at the ref. Yeah, honestly, yeah. I wanted to say it, but it's so different.
They didn't give you the pass.
It's just so different. And now that I think about
England for like 2 years.
Wanker. That's what I would have hearing. I was like, oh, okay. I got that. Makes so much sense from, I don't know if you see Ted Lasso. I was like, now I get it. Yeah. But it's a marketing aspect over here in the U.S.
But the thing is, like, if we take it back, just go back to your college years, like college sports gives you that atmosphere. Right. The kids are full-fledged into the game. They dress. They have different signs on top. Like we don't do that for when it comes to the pro sports in America. I feel like everybody's trying to be real demure, like especially now in the NBA. Back in the NBA, if you got floor seats, you can cuss out the players. Now, like, they're kicking you out for talking a little bit of trash. So
really, I didn't know that.
We used to be a real country.
We used to be a real country. It's administration.
Yeah.
Nobody drinks IPAs no more.
Yeah, so I want to shift from Club World Cup to Gold Cup because we kind of brought that up. You mentioned you're a Mexico fan, Bridget, Mexico fan.
Yeah.
Talk about the turnaround of Mexico because, like you said, when you first started, Mexico was kind of down bad, and for a few years there, it was not looking good for them. But slowly and surely, they've been on the rise, coming back. They look like a real team. They starting to get performances. The fan base seems to be like getting on board. So. Can you just talk about like what you've seen from Mexico from, 2020 versus 5 years later and winning back-to-back Gold Cups?
Damn, Mexico from like 2020 reminds me of my ex because it was like a toxic relationship. I always wanted it, but I was like, yeah, it's not a good idea, but I still got to support her,
Yeah. Text her back, queen.
Yeah. And that's how it is. It was just like, damn. I think the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, that really broke my heart because I was like, okay, I think we have the squad. Tata, for me, it was just like a 50-50.
Mm-hmm. Everybody blames him. I don't think it was his fault, though.
Honestly, I mean, I want to say yes and I want to say no.
Partially.
Everybody, like, you sold yourself to Argentina. You want Argentina?
I'm still confused at how he left out Santi. Like, to me, it didn't make sense. It's like.
Did Santi play for the semifinal this Club World Cup?
He didn't start.
Exactly. That's where I'm going with this. Like, Santi doesn't even start with this administration.
Yeah. But it just didn't make sense to me why he didn't call him because he was like the top scorer I think in Feyenoord.
Yeah.
He was doing good. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Why would you not bring him? So I was like, oh, whatever. We didn't make it past the group stage, which was like the first time I think I've seen since I started supporting Mexico. I was like, wow, I didn't think it was possible. Now I feel like we have so much potential, but I still don't. I think we could do more, but I just don't know how. Maybe with me, I don't know. But I think I have more confidence for next year that I think we'll make it past el quinto partido. And I've been trying to I'm all delusional. I'm like, we're going to make it to the final. Like, I know it somehow. But it's like with this Gold Cup, I think a lot of people really think Mexico needs to dominate. But the other countries have grown so much. Like Suriname, I was surprised we struggled with them. Costa Rica, I was expecting at least a tie, and it did happen. Like maybe 1-1. The U.S., I was like, yeah, we're going to beat them. But I think we struggled too much with their C team, and it just didn't make sense because we have our A squad. And I honestly thought we were gonna go to penalties. I was like, yep, penalties. I think we can win it, but the growth in Mexico from 2020 is a whole completely different players, coach. I have more confidence. I don't want to say I have more confidence on how to get it. I feel like it's the same old story, but I think we'll make some type of history next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bold prediction. Yeah. You don't seem too sure about that.
I don't know. How do I say it? The potential's there, but they just haven't brought out that equation to make the perfect squad on who's in it. One player that I always hear people talking about is Charlie Rodriguez.
Right.
I don't understand why we don't call. I don't know Marcel Ruiz. He played with Toluca. He gave that assist to Raúl Jiménez.
Yeah. Okay.
He's that one player that I've been wanting him to start for the longest time. And a lot of people don't see it, and now they finally play him and okay, finally. Yeah. Now he proved it.
Yeah.
But the thing about Javier is even bringing the 17-year-old to play. A lot of these Latin countries, they don't. I'm talking not South America, but in North America, like the U.S. and Mexico. They don't we have young talent and we don't let them shine.
Was his name Sullivan?
From Philadelphia. Yeah. So Brazil, if you look at '94, they had a 17-year-old Ronaldo, a phenomenal on the team. And Mexico does have the talent. You see them they're winning World Cups for under 17. So they should bring that young talent. And that kid balled out. And he was only 17. They were whooping his ass.
16 or 17?
I don't know.
He's 16.
Yeah, 16.
They were Honduras was whooping his ass.
He was taking it.
And but
that's how you learn. Yeah. And look at he was doing little tiki-takas here and there. When he did have the ball, he knew what he was doing. He controlled it really well. He wasn't letting that because Honduras was coming in hard. I don't know how he wasn't frustrated, but that just goes to show the level and quality of a player that he is, because he wasn't letting that. I don't. They were just going in, they were going in recklessly, and he just he controlled himself. He held it down. He did the assist to Raul, and like he dominated. He finished, and he showed the kind of player he is. And then again in the final, he did the same thing. He showed up. He held his ground. He's young, but he has the passion. He has the ability, and I think, like you said, I think that Mexico has the potential to do something next year in the World Cup, and it's just. But then again, like being a Mexico fan, you just never know.
We're all delusional. We think we can win the final.
We really are.
But they have a good coach, and like they have Rafa Marquez, probably the best. I say the best Mexican player that ever played.
I agree.
That Rafa Marquez, having him as a second voice of the head coach. Imagine
even just seeing him
if
in
the coach
back.
says something and you're like, Doc, like no, and then Rafa Marquez like, do it. You gotta listen to Rafa Marquez because he's done it.
Every time they show Javier and then Rafa was in the back, you could just feel Rafa's aura. Like it was just stunning, man. Every time they showed him, I had hope. I was all right. We're gonna.
He got up twice to like argue to the ref.
Right?
The ref was like, I'll call it next call. Like, my bad. I fucked up.
Rafa's just the man.
Yeah. So I feel like the vibe right now with Mexico is optimistic going into the World Cup, and maybe that's not something that you could have said about this team a couple years ago. Whereas the U.S., you talk about delusion. There's a lot of delusion with the U.S. fan base, but I feel like the vibes could not be any worse than they are right now. Coming off even going back to last year at the Copa America. Going into the Nations League and now the Gold Cup. So it's even the Gold Cup prior to the Nations League, they lost to Panama. That's 4 straight tournaments where it's like underperforming, and there hasn't really been a signature game or a signature win in recent memory. And you mentioned it was not their A team. There's players choosing not to show up. There's people struggling to stay healthy. There's, conflicting things between what the manager's saying versus what the players are saying. And we talk about the U.S. a lot on this podcast, and it's a little bit exhausting, but there's been a lot of talk about, okay, where does this team go from here? And there's not that much time before the World Cup. So I don't know where this team can go from here in terms of scheduling some competitive friendlies or making sure that the whole squad is there, incentivizing them somehow, because there's not that much time between now and the World Cup.
They got some key points though. Bill Harter, he should be part of the A team. Probably not a starter, but he's there. Tillman over Musa for sure. And I forgot the other guy. Tyler Adams, I love him. Every time he's on the field, I just enjoy it because the U.S. plays with a little bit of griminess. Like as a player that's not scared to get in your face. For the Mexico-U.S. game, he's probably one of the first ones in that circle every time something happens. Yeah. So that's always great, man.
And so, you mentioned, Diego Luna is another thing.
Diego Luna, another great player.
I wish he could play for the Mexican national team.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, I remember it was probably like a year ago, where he's like, this guy. I saw him play with Salt Lake, and I was like, damn, this guy's good. Yeah. They should call him, but they never did, because I don't know, it's either politics, competition, or they just. I mean, he plays in MLS, so maybe that's why.
But when Mexico, after Mexico, I think he was still with the Locomotives. He was playing USL. Yeah. He was playing with USL, and he grew up in that USL system, and then Real Salt Lake got him. But he was just playing in the Locomotives. Another great player that does belong on the A team. They were saying Pelusias, he did have an off game in the final against Mexico, but. The formation, he was playing more defensive than attacking. Then it gave him the freedom to go up and attack Mexico. Luna.
Yeah.
So he didn't have the freedom to attack. He was so busy dropping back and defending. They switched the formation. I don't know why. I still don't get it. Pochettino, he should have kept it as it was. But if you see the game, he's backtracking more than he's attacking.
Yeah.
So it was just an off game, but I do think he has the skills to be part of that A team.
Yeah. I mean. There were some takeaways, and I think you can choose to be optimistic about the team if you want to. One thing that I want to see more of, though, is I want to see more personalities from these players. I feel like there's a lack of, you have the guys at the top, your Pulisic, your Tim Weah, Weston McKennie, those. I feel like the big names, but I want to see some of these American guys that are in unique positions, especially the MLS guys, like Diego Luna. After this tournament, he's kind of broken out, and now if you're following U.S. soccer, you know who he is. Maybe 6 months ago, it was more of if you're only I don't know, casual. If you're not a casual, I don't know, I don't really like that word, but now I feel like this is a time for him to kind of just like start making a name for himself off the field, like maybe showing a little bit of his personality. Like he seems like a really, genuine person. Like the way he, like in interviews I see him, everybody's just so buttoned up. Like I feel like all the interviews that they do, it's just like, yeah, we had a good game today, and we just got to keep working.
Blame the
forward,
PR for that one.
And so like they're like trying to protect their image, which I understand, but it's like, dude, like you're playing in MLS. Like you need to, if you want the league to grow, if you want like your personal brand to grow, like you should start like making.
We need a villain.
We need a villain. A villain like Patrick Adjumang. Like Patrick Adjumang was getting all types of crap being thrown on him, talking about he can't finish, like, oh, he was 3 goals away from a hat trick, all this and that. Dude, start challenging fans. Start challenging fans to 1v1s. Like, do something. Like,
or even Raheem Edwards for the Tráfico, like 3 years ago. He's like, when he left to LAFC to Galaxy, he was like, well, we're gonna beat them. Like, talk some trash. Like,
exactly.
I need that. Like, I need that.
Game's gone soft, man.
I want and these players that are in like, starting to become like having bigger profiles, but still being in MLS where they're accessible. It feels like, they have the fans. Like I feel like MLS, like you feel like you can like connect to some of these players, and a lot of the big names or bigger names in MLS aren't American players. And this is a chance, leading into the World Cup. Like if you want, you can start to build a brand for yourself and make yourself more available, or I don't know, like show a little bit more of your personality, and then all of a sudden, you have a big fan base. I don't know if this is all the way in like a factor in getting called to the team, but it's like, okay, like if Diego Luna all of a sudden becomes like a fan favorite, or like people love him and he gets left off the roster, like that's going to cause a huge, uproar. And I'm sure U.S. Soccer will think about that and be like, we got to bring this guy because the fans love him, and all this and that. I don't know if that has a huge factor in getting named to the roster, but I feel like it could play into that. And there's so much more room to grow the sport, and like you said, grow the passion around the sport. And it's hard to do that when it's just like you feel like every interview that is just so bland, and like it's hard to even imagine like in the NBA you have like the Gilbert Arenas and Nick Young like stuff where they're just like talking all kinds of trash. It's hard to even imagine that for U.S. Soccer, because it's like who could even fill that role, like I don't know. That's I was thinking about that earlier today, and it just kind of got my wheels turning. I was like, dude, like why don't we have more of this?
You was crashing out.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I don't know. Like there's right now going into the World Cup, there's a huge opportunity for it, and it's wide open for these players. And maybe even like a Chris Richards, or like some of these younger guys that are going to be factors on the team that are playing in Europe, or like Malik Tillman or Pepe, or like some of these guys. Like, dude, like I want to see like their personality or like just some kind of edge to them, because right now it's just like.
I was watching the game, the Mexico-U.S. game in Spanish, and I just heard Marcelo Balboa like rip Reem a new one. Like he like, how are you gonna defend the goal with 2 feet close to each other? I want to see Reem come back like, dude, shut up. Just talk some trash. Like, cause like the thing about like what I used to like criticize Mexican soccer about for so many years is like the media always bashing the players before they can even grow, and like putting that extra pressure. Now like the U.S. is doing it. And it's not even the U.S. media. It's the U.S. national team alumni.
Yeah.
Like when you hear Donovan and what's his name?
Howard.
Howard, like on their podcast, just talking trash all the time. Like, oh, I don't know. Like just shut up. Like be part of the team. Like you guys are just like messing it up. Like you guys are just trying to start internal beef. Like there's no support from the alumni. It's all just bitter has-beens that are mad that like these kids are getting a little bit more recognition just because they're playing in Europe. Okay, you grinded in the MLS, but it's not their fault that you open a door for them and they can like prosper in Europe. And that's the only thing I hate about U.S. soccer right now. Like the alumni are just bitter and haters, bro.
Especially Alex Lalas, bro. I don't know why. I don't know why I don't like him.
I can think of a few things.
No, like I don't like him, but I don't dislike him because sometimes he has great points. It's the way he says, just like shut up.
He says it in a bad way.
But he has valid points. Like another one, I'm like an Eric Ronaldo fan right now. His little series he's going on right now, I'm like Eric, you should be the coach right now.
Yeah, he's going on some like on his like Colin Cowherd, like Stephen A type stuff, where he's like throwing out these like controversial topics and giving hot takes and all that stuff. And like I think I saw Nick Wright. You know Nick Wright on Fox.
Yeah,
long hair, basketball. He talks about basketball a lot. He's a huge LeBron guy.
Big nose.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Yeah, you're not wrong. But he was talking about which players have the most to gain from the World Cup. So like you're starting to see like, okay, mainstream sports like media is starting to cover soccer now going into the World Cup. But like you said earlier, are they doing it just for views, or are they doing it actually? Does Nick Wright watch soccer? Does Nick Wright watch? I don't know if he does. Like I've never seen him talk about it before. I was surprised to see him talking about Erling Haaland and Lamine Yamal and all these guys that have a lot to gain. But I don't know. Like I want there to be more passion around the game, and we were on here a couple weeks ago talking about we want to grow the sport here. We want to get more people involved, and I think there's just gonna be more edge to the team, both MLS, Europe, wherever. Like that's something that I think could be a big part of getting people into it and involved.
I think bringing in Messi was probably the best decision that the MLS did or Miami did. It's funny because I went to his presentation, so I flew out to Miami just to see him. The Messi, because I was like, this might be the last time I see him. Who knows? And funny story, got like delayed by 3 hours. It flooded. I had like my shoes all wet at the airport when I came back because I only had one pair of shoes.
Wait, the airport flooded?
No, the stadium. Oh. The stadium flooded. There was like a storm. There was thunder, so I only had one pair of shoes. So like my shoes my shoes were like super wet.
That's crazy.
But
Gotta take Crocs.
Yeah, no. But I think bringing in Messi to MLS, I think brings up the sport more because I remember there was pictures of Messi shopping at the mall, at the store. Right. People don't even know who he was. Now they know, and even for me, the only games I would watch was LAFC. Now I watch Miami just because of Messi. But there will be times where like, oh, the Miami game is over, and they're like, oh, I don't know, Salt Lake versus Vancouver. I'll watch it. So I think that's really helped. My mom isn't really a soccer fan, but she knows Messi now more because of all the marketing. She sees, his face. You got the Mas by Messi now. I bought one too. So I think him coming over here is really helping out the sport, whether you're a Messi fan or not. But I think it makes MLS less of a retirement league now because that's what I thought it was. But now I feel like it's more competitive. Little by little, not as much as Premier League, but I think maybe like in 5 years, I'm really hoping there will be a relegation era. That's because USL is already doing it.
Yeah, 2027.
It's not coming to MLS.
And then when it because I feel like I prefer to watch USL just to watch the relegation. Yeah. And then MLS will be like, we're gonna have to do it. Yeah. Either buy USL or do it our own.
Yeah. You're rocking the Gotham hat. Are you tapped into NWSL at all? Like, have you been watching the league and its growth over the?
I'm trying little by little. I think women's sports is underrated, and I think it's when it comes to like business, I think a lot of like companies have to invest in it right now because eventually 5 years it's gonna be a big thing, and then they'll be like, damn, we messed out. But I've gone to see Angel City. I went to go see Gotham. I thought the games were really cool. The girls are ruthless. I think I'd rather play with guys against the girls because I saw them. They go in.
There's not as many flops, which makes it a lot more fun.
No, they get up right quick.
And the game is a little bit more condensed too, so it's not as spread out, and so like you really get into that.
I get props because they played Gotham. When I went there, Gotham played against San Diego Wave, and San Diego Wave plays really good. I was surprised.
There
was a lot of tiki-taka, and I was like, damn, these girls
I was watching a friendly, Colombia versus, I forgot the other team, but the girls were like actually whooping each other's asses.
Colombia is like notoriously physical there.
Oh my God.
Even when we went to watch Chivas and America Femenil,
I heard
game
about
was
that.
Insane,
super
man.
insane.
Yeah, Julio remembers.
So excited.
Blacked out drunk.
Oh really? Oh
yeah.
Bro, they sent me pictures of him. I thought he was trolling. He was in the stands, sunglasses on, like Weekend at Bernie's. You ever watch Weekend at Bernie's? Like he looked like slumped. Bro.
I came to the stadium drunk, and as soon as I get to the stadium, I took like 5 shots in. That's all I remember. Yeah. Great game, girls.
It was a great game, though. I was there. I was watching the whole thing. I was excited. My dad was excited. It was like my younger cousin's first time watching a soccer game
Blacked
ever.
out in the back.
The intensity of it, just the talking to each other, like the smack talking back and forth.
I heard there was fights too between fans. I saw
Yes.
videos, which I'm surprised, bro. It's a women's game. I think it's be less calm because it's more family friendly, but it was not family friendly.
And that's how you know women's sports is. That's how you know women's sports is making it because during halftime, they were like doing like the halftime vibes, and you know, like the girls were taking their breaks, whatever. And then out of nowhere, you just see like a bunch of fans, like Chivas fans, and then the America fans got in, and they all started going into like a rumble. It was insane. I was like, that's how you know, unfortunately, that like women's sports has made it when there's a whole rumble happening mid-game. Yeah, that's passion. That's like the love for it, the culture of it. Obviously, we don't condone violence, but
there's always that line.
Say no to violence.
Yeah, there's always that line of
smack somebody if you have to.
Of this, and we're talking about stadium atmosphere too, because when you go to a stadium and it's like the raucous, like it's not all going to be positive. It's not all going to be sunshine and rainbows. It's going to be like to some extent a hostile environment.
Right.
And there's a line of where it becomes, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, you know, I'm in a fight or flight mode because of just like all the stuff going on versus when it crosses the line of, oh, like I don't feel safe here. Like this is not cool. Like, you know, so you always want to be right on that line. But at the same time, when you're right on that line, things I don't want to say more times than not, but often will cross the line just because that's just the nature.
That's how I felt during El Tráfico. The last one in Carson. I was literally just the only AFC fan walking. There was Galaxy fans everywhere. I was like, damn, I feel the looks. I feel people looking at me. But I'm kind of glad El Tráfico was born because I don't think there was a big rivalry in MLS until that came, and I've never missed one as of now. But I'm excited for I think the ones next week.
It's coming up. Yeah,
it's coming up.
But like even just going back to that point, going back to that River Monterrey, that's how I felt there because like the River fans were intense, and the Monterrey fans did not back down. So like. It went from like their chants talking about how they beat Tigres, and Tigres is like Monterrey's biggest rivals. Like if we mess up your daddies, what do you think we're gonna mess up to you? And then Monterrey is singing songs talking about like we know it and you know it. You went to the B. Like nobody or something like that. I know so like it translated pretty good as well. But like just seeing that like it went from that like they started laughing about it. And then it got kind of serious, like as the drinks came and going in, like I'm like, oh, this might turn into a big rumble.
Yeah.
So like, but it was intense. So I'm like, all right, like let me like stay at a safe distance because this might if somebody's beer just falls in the cracks, it might just turn into a Royal Rumble right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, listen, Leo, we're running low on time, but before we go, 2026 World Cup's coming up. What are 3 things that you want to see? Could be for yourself, for the soccer as a U.S. as a country, Mexico national team. 3 goals that you want to see between now and the end of the World Cup.
Well, my main goal is to attend a World Cup game. I've never been to one, so that's my main goal. Second, I want to see Mexico in the 5th game.
Period.
Barely, at least minimum. I mean, they're the host. And third, I don't know. I mean, as a content creator, I do want to go to like either one important game, whether Mexico is there or not, just because I mean I feel like I've worked this hard to like make it here. Mm-hmm. And little by little, you know, those brands are coming in. But my third goal would be like attend like a World Cup game as a either content creator or influencer, whatever it is. But those are my 3 goals.
You should like that Monterrey like stadium one. Like if I could go to any if I only have one option, it'd probably be go watch a World Cup game in Monterrey and that stadium.
I have yet to go. I already went to Guadalajara, that Akron, which was really nice. But Monterrey is on the list. Hopefully this year, or if not, next year before the World Cup.
Yeah. That's iconic.
Yeah,
like just
you saw all that picture of the
everybody's seen that, you know, like yeah.
So that's one other one too.
Yeah,
I'm already trying to plan it with my friends. Like I told them, like we need to plan things out. Like where are we gonna stay? What time are we gonna leave? What games are we gonna see?
Not day of.
Yeah. Well, Bridget is going to be there opening day in Mexico City.
Yeah.
Oh, you have your tickets?
I'm manifesting it.
Oh, manifesting. Oh, that's not enough. I need to sell myself for 1 ticket, man.
She's getting flown out.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We're going to make it happen.
Oh, cool. America player. Somebody's going to be there.
Someone's going to reach out and be like, hey, you want to
Are you going to be on the wifey section or in the one like...
Who knows? We'll take it.
Hey, 2026, you never know.
I call that the Chicho Arango.
Not trying to be in that section. Not that one.
Unless
Shout out to Chicho Arango. His wife was in the front.
Content creating.
five rows back, it was all his mistresses. It's amazing. And I miss that guy.
As long as you're in there watching the game.
Right? As long as I'm
any means necessary.
The Chicho Arango section would be
Mexico
crazy.
City and Monterrey. Those are the ones that I'm trying to go to.
Yeah.
And something out here.
Oh, man. This has been great. Thank you again for coming on. This has been another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, The Beautiful Game of Life, part of the League Network. For Julio Monterosa, Leo Hernandez, Bridget Flores, I'm Ramsey Abushala. We'll see you next week.